This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Pack your bags. The Power Trip Morning Show is taking over Vegas October 23rd through the 26th, live from Tom's Watch Bar with 2 huge football watch parties. And the best part, you do Vegas your way. You stay where you want, fly how you want, and party with us in Sin City. Don't miss out. Get all the details at KFAN.com/Vegas.
Power Trip Morning Show, funny stuff. Hey, I'm Comedies Tend to Be the legendary Mark Rosen. Speaking of laughter, Common Meat Sauce Larry Mandela.
Yeah, I want to hear about
Spicer.
it. Yeah.
It's as good a show as we've ever had.
No kidding.
And much of the credit has to go to the audience. They wanted to laugh. They were hungry to laugh. They loved our material. 150 people. We brought the house down. And Spicer, on the way to Spicer, you go through Cold Spring. And you weren't kidding. I was surprised they had paved roads.
No grocery stores?
Well, I was surprised they had paved roads the way you described it.
Yeah.
And you basically said it was like living in the hinterland in Alaska. But
I didn't make it sound like that. Our friend, by the way,
you were stunned that there wasn't a grocery store within 20 minutes.
Well, I actually talked. We were with our friends from Cold Spring in Charleston over the weekend, so I was laughing about that, talking about the grocery store dilemma. And Larry Mandela guy sent me a picture of
the Cold Spring sign.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I'm glad he found some.
I actually thought that. Well, this is what I thought I was going to have to do. I thought I was going to have to drive on a dirt road, then get out and get on a canoe in Portage to Spicer, but I didn't have to do that.
Got there okay.
I was able to drive there the entire way.
Well, you go through St. Joe's, too, not too far from Cold Spring.
Do you remember, by the way, when 2 years ago, maybe was it 2 years ago, that I suggested the Twins sign Blake Snell, and I got ripped by emailers. All they kept saying is he's been injury riddled. He's not any good. Imagine if we had. Imagine if we would have signed Blake Snell and kept.
Who wouldn't have paid him?
Kept Sonny. Well, but I'm saying we should have paid. But we could have paid. Think if we had Blake Snell, Lopez, Sonny Gray,
Joe Ryan. Not a bad rotation.
We would be in the World Series. Yeah. We'd be going to the World Series. Yeah. We'd have the best pitching. Pitching wins championships. That's how you win baseball games.
Is it ever? Yeah.
And, but we don't want
example after example after example.
How good does Luka Doncic look? Did you see we're watching on ESPN. They were just doing a little piece on the Lakers. He looks terrific.
Yeah, he does.
I wouldn't sleep on that Lakers club.
Oh, I'm not. I think they're. Well, LeBron's going to miss the first month of the season, basically. Okay. Big deal. Do they need him anymore? Well,
no, they do. But they do. And he'll play. But it's just like
first month of the season doesn't matter a lot.
In the NBA, it really doesn't, because we've seen the way teams treat the regular season in many games, including the Wolves. They'll just coast, and if they lose, because they know they're going to make postseason. You can probably right now pick the 8 teams that will make it. Pretty in close. The West and the East. There might be a surprise, and some team might disappoint. But I think those teams know they will be in, and so that's why they do the load management days. This is just putting all the load management for LeBron right at the beginning of the season and have him ready to go. So, but Doncic does look good. He does.
He looks great. He dedicated himself this summer.
He was chided. He was mocked and ridiculed about being a little pudgy. Remember, after he was traded by Dallas, they talked to the general manager, and he pulled no punches. They basically, and I'm paraphrasing, it wasn't the exact words, but he said, he's not in really good shape, and blah, 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 and defensively lacks a little bit there. And so now apparently it's the old, I think what's happened in his case is that and he probably, I don't know if he felt embarrassed by the conversation about what kind of shape he's in, but it's obviously he must have listened, because he looks like a different player.
It's
physically,
that's what it's literally your shape and your determination to be in the best shape of your career and your life. That's why they're paying you millions.
Look at
Wembanyama.
Look at him run the floor now. Look at him. Look at that. Oh God, that was so beautiful. I told you off air, 80% of the general managers, according to The Athletic, they do their anonymous poll. 80%, 8 out of every 10 said if they were starting a franchise today and could select one player, 80% said Wemby. You say...
you asked me if I would trade Anthony for him.
Yeah,
and I
said no. Not in a million years.
Well, I said I wouldn't do it. Because I just feel his position... Right. I'm not suggesting that Wemby's not going to be a future Hall of Famer,
He's going to go down as the greatest player in the history of the NBA if he stays healthy.
Well, of course he is.
Well, he will. Look at him. Look at the highlight package. Look at he's standing. He slams it without even jumping.
Well,
he can do it all.
The guy the Wolves just signed can do
He's still growing.
He could do the same thing. He could stand there and dunk the ball with anybody, but he's not Wemby-like yet.
Well, you think he's going to be?
No, I don't. I do not. Who knows where his potential is going to end up? But I don't think he's going to play a lot at the beginning of the season. Doesn't sound like it. Yeah, that's about a week away. I was just reading a comment from the Celtics coach, Mizuno. He said these preseason games for the NBA are a complete waste of my time and the team's time. We should just practice for a month and go play.
I think it was a very important to the Wolves last night. That was a big game for them last night. They beat the team. Was it from China or Japan?
That's the one game I paid zero attention to last night.
Well, it wasn't on TV anyway.
No, I know it was, but I've been even checking. I'm not looking at the box score once.
I looked for that. I wanted to see
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
It's the one I wanted to see. I want to see my guy Béranger.
Yeah, that's about the only time you're going to see him for a while, unfortunately.
I don't know. Yeah. Jimmy Peterson thinks that he's good enough to start.
I haven't seen much of the rotation. Maybe he'll surprise, and Chris Finch will expand the roster a little bit in terms of playing time. But he already
said he was going to. That's what he said.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to be included in that.
End of the last year, he said that he was going to play more players.
Yeah.
Had they played Dillingham and Shannon more often during the regular season, they might have. I don't know. Would they have got to the NBA Finals? I don't know, but they didn't have enough guys. They don't run deep enough. I don't understand why you don't play these
those three, and then Jalen Clark is going to be the third one. I think all those three should get and have to get much more extended playing time. Obviously, Conley's going to be limited, and they don't have that's the bench. Those are the three guys that need to really contribute the most. So I think we're about a little over a week away from starting the regular season.
October 22, I think. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's next Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, we open against Portland on the road. Is that right?
I believe that's correct. Yeah. Further. Yeah.
What can you tell us about the Trailblazers? Anything? I don't know anything about them.
I don't. I haven't really looked at them.
I don't either. They used to have Damian Lillard. That's the last I knew, and I think he's left that team. Or is he back with them?
No.
I thought he left and went back. No, is he gone? I don't know. That's all I know.
He got hurt. Dame got hurt, wasn't he? With Milwaukee.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm not paying as close attention to the league.
I'll turn the page here
did.
next week when we start looking at the rosters a little bit more. In the meantime, there's plenty to occupy the sports landscape.
Well, tell me what do you want to talk about then? What do you got?
Well, I find it interesting that. For lots of reasons, I guess, the Gopher football team. Again, the odds makers are not right all the time. There's a reason for that, but Nebraska's like 8-point favorites now over the Gophers. They play Friday night. We know that it's a big Friday night because MEA week, and so no competition with high school. Not that always matters.
Well, that's television. Not what it was. Yeah, no, it's all television.
Yeah, it's a television
This is all television based.
Of course it is.
They need to. They don't have enough. There's so many games they want that they can't play them all on Saturday.
PJ said the same thing, of course. But the fact that the Gophers are I'm saying prohibitive underdogs, but big underdogs at home. If they're playing that game at Nebraska based on that, they'd be 12-point favorites.
And they probably should be. I mean, the Gophers were destroyed by Ohio State, and they were. I don't know. I watched part of it as I was up at Comedy. Our show started at 7:30, but from 6:30 till about little after 7, I did watch, and then I read the recap of the game, and they stole one, and a win's a win. You don't have to apologize for it, but they were out.
I don't know what's happened.
They gave up 200 plus yards on the ground and only had 30 of their own, and
how is that possible?
They stole. Well, I don't know. It seems impossible, and. Purdue's just not very good yet. And so Nebraska they had a nice win over Maryland on the road. Nebraska's gritty. That's not a bad club. I would expect Nebraska to be a favorite. And unless the Gophers do something, unless they play a lot better than they have the past couple of weeks, they're going to get beat by Nebraska. That's
they will. But that's the thing that surprised me. They started out like 3-4 point favorites. All of a sudden, they skyrocketed to 8.
Lillard is back on Portland. That's what someone just texted.
He is? He's back on Portland?
Well, yeah, I follow the NBA.
You follow the NBA.
Yeah. I wish you'd start following the NBA again. You're just busy going to Cold Spring and going to where did you go? Charlotte? No. Charleston. You're just traveling the world.
That was the bye weekend that we got away. Now this Friday night, I'm not going to be at the Gopher game. I'm going to see Mr. McCartney So McCartney on Friday and McCarthy on Sunday.
Oh my gosh!
But McCarthy.
Boy, you just live such a charmed life. Let me guess.
You're going
front row seats.
I don't know where I'm sitting. I didn't get the tickets. Oh. I don't know. I'm going with friends, as they say. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I saw him, as you did, at Target Field years ago, but he's
I wouldn't go see him. He's in my garage.
Yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Come on.
You must not listen to the show. I've already explained.
Have heard you just.
Well, no. What happened was when he came back a second time to the X, and I got tickets, and I walked out halfway through it
because
same crowd rap, same set list, didn't do anything different. McCartney's.
I love him.
I love the Beatles.
Right.
But I just think I just doesn't do anything for me anymore.
I understand that, but I'd
rather see tennis band Weezer. I really would. I'd rather see Weezer. I listened to one of Weezer's song the other day. What is it? Tell me, Midnight of the Sun?
Island in the Sun?
Island in the Sun was a really good song.
Yeah.
We can make it Weezer Wednesdays from now on.
There you go.
That's all right by me. We'll take a break, come back. One more segment with Rosie. Came in a little early today. He's got some business to tend to. So we're back. But Tennessee has a keyword to try to put $1,000 in your hand in the National Cash Contest.
Yeah, the fan and 2 Men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks for their National Cash Contest. Enter the keyword WIN at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. The keyword is WIN. Enter now at KFAN.com. Bucks is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Box is presented by 2 Men in a Junk Truck.
Couple 13-14 passed on Common. He is it's going to be the legendary Mark Rosen is here. Minnesota Wild, after the first game of the season, they were on pace to go 82-0.
And not give up one goal. First one.
And not they were going to score 5 goals a game. You do the math. 400 some goals, and they were going to give up nothing. Next game, they gave up 7 goals, lose 7-4, and I think they won. Is it Wallstead or Volstead, Tennessee?
It's spelled Wallstead, but it's pronounced Volstead.
And he was really good in the shootout, right?
He was very good in the shootout.
He was good throughout the game.
That. Yeah, and they won. So now we're on pace to go. we're whatever. What do you think of your Wild club now?
Well, I mean, it's the power play's been electric. They had, even when their loss, I was gone, but did they have like 50 some shots on goal? I don't know how many. You probably watched the 10, but
52.
I don't know how many
franchise record
quality shots, but still that's an effective offense. I mean, it goes back to why it was incumbent upon them to sign Kaprizov. I mean, he's the most electrifying player in the franchise history, and it's not even close. I mean, Gaborik had his moments, and he was really a prolific goal scorer. But Kaprizov's the difference maker, and he on that power play in particular, and where he's at, and what he does for the rest of that team. It makes all the difference in the world. Last night they gave up a 3-goal lead. The Kings tied it. Went to overtime, went to a shootout, and Marco Rossi got the game winner, and they win 4-3. Rossi. Now they play tonight in Dallas, right? They're playing, aren't they? Back to back. So yeah, I mean that's these are the early stages, but it just once again reinforces that without Kaprizov they don't have a franchise. I mean it's just keep that guy healthy and
yeah, but the McDavid, and then who was the other guy that signed for
Jack Eichel?
Both those guys just signed a couple years cheap.
McDavid, I think
Eichel was 8 years, but he was a little cheaper.
McDavid signed cheaper, trying to help the club with the salary cap.
McDavid doesn't care about Edmonton. He's not going to be there after 2 years. He's been with them. They've been to the Stanley Cup. The final, I think that's why he signed a short-term contract because he wants
signed a short-term contract because
he wants out in 2 years. He's not going to be there anymore.
Well, if he wanted out, he could get out after this year.
Well, whatever the case may be.
It's not completely accurate, but
no, but I'm saying don't you think that's
he would have been a free agent after this year?
Yeah,
I think it's a last hurrah of
Yes.
Hey, we need to do it here or else I'll leave. I don't think it's necessarily I want to go.
No, I don't think he's trying to buy himself out of it. Him and Draisaitl are the two guys.
And he took a team friendly, so they had more for the cap.
Hometown discount.
Yeah. Boy, nice of Krill to do that. Matter of fact, instead of taking 16, he had to ask for 17.
Well, right now he's on pace for 246 points, so he's well worth that $17 million.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how he is when he turns 30,
that's backup quarterback money.
Okay.
I think they're fine.
No, I was going to do this. I'm sorry. Of course you think they're fine.
Well, I mean, I think they're fine in terms of what they're paying him. I don't look at the Wild. I mean, I don't think anyone's saying, well, that because of that, they're a Stanley Cup contending team this year. They have to build a lot of things, build this thing together, standing tall together. I mean, it's getting some of the youngsters. It's fun to watch, and it's the first week of the season. Obviously, goaltending, defense, the injuries, all this stuff play into it. But and the West is it's always tough. And what you want to do is just get in there and then play really good hockey next April when it matters. And that you look at the teams that are left standing at the end. You look at the Florida Panthers all the time and how I use the word gritty, and everybody does in terms of what it takes to get to that point when you have to win 4 series. Man. That's what many people say it's the toughest trophy to win. And, I don't think that, the Wild are building towards that. They're not even close to being there yet. But they got the guy that at least will hopefully attract more players and will, continue to fill the stands because it's a lot of 97 jerseys everywhere. The
best power play percentage in the history of the National Hockey League for one season is 32.4%. The Wild are right now at 47.1%. They are on pace to have the greatest power play percentage in the history of the National Hockey League. And I think it's because, I'll take the credit, they're shooting. Shoot. Teneby and many others hate when the fans yell, shoot. They think that's...
They do.
They haven't had to yell it because they've been shooting.
Well, there you go.
Shooting
that's what they do is they shoot another...
Lighting the lamp, as they say.
What do you think of that power play percentage? It's really good.
It's like a batter hitting a home run, 3 home runs the first 3 games. He's on pace to hit, 90 or something. It's just never going to happen.
How do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It might be nice to see them play a little better 5-on-5, but that's just me. But I think that's the coach. That's everyone. And it's, again, we're 3 games into the season. So it's
look at you finding the negatives to talk about.
What's that?
Look at you finding the negatives to talk about.
No, negatives. I think it's what the coach has been saying. Power play's been electric. I mean, can't afford to take a penalty against these guys.
No.
Boldy's a budding superstar. He's
Rossi,
one
now. I'm just going to say it. He's a superstar
just
now.
About there. Yeah,
he's really good.
And Marco Rossi's kind of quieted any critics of his, including management. We weren't quite sure they're going to sign him. And Boyum looks like a real good defenseman. So. As long as the goaltending can hold up.
You know who John Heyman is?
A writer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a tweet today. Sources, Twins are seeking permission to interview Red Sox bench coach Ramon Vasquez for their managing opening. Your thoughts?
I can't believe he's available. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Who does?
Well, didn't you do some resume to see?
I just read it like
an hour ago. Did you look in the Boston Red Sox media guide like the Twins did?
Yeah. That's what the poll ads are doing right now. They're checking out his resume. We both have been watching the playoffs and not just seeing Polanco, which is great. You can't be happier for him.
We didn't need him.
Great guy. Well, didn't they get Julian for him, basically? It doesn't matter.
We got
but it shows you that you just can't give up on players either because he has ups and downs. Yeah. But it hurts all the more because the Twins are
gave up on that guy that ended up going to the Red Sox and he went to the Hall of Fame now?
Yeah,
what's his name?
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, everybody gave up. The only thing I'll defend in that is that everybody kind of gave up on him.
Well, that was their fault though because they tried to get him to hit to the opposite field. They didn't. Isn't that funny how the whole psychology of the franchise changed? Yeah. Before it was we want you to hit the opposite field. Then it was after they won their first playoff series. They said we're going to continue to swing for the fences. Look where that's gone.
Yeah, correct.
This franchise is just woe begone.
I don't even know how to
say the least.
There's so many elements that are missing and. I don't know because naming a manager from the Red Sox hitting coach or whatever, your third base coach, terrific. I mean, hope when he goes into Polad's office and Derek Falvey's office, he asks the right questions. Who's going to be? Make out that lineup for me right now so I can take a look at it. Yeah. Other than my guy, Walker Jenkins. I'd put him in the starting lineup on opening day.
You've never seen him play?
Not in person. Yeah. No. I've seen highlights of him. Yeah. I didn't go to St. Paul. I finally got here.
Think about it.
But just think about it. You've never seen Wemby play in person.
Well, yeah, I don't go to games.
I know. Well,
what a waste of time.
Not a waste of time.
Oh, you got to go park.
What hand does Walker Jenkins throw with?
Right hand. I have no idea.
What does he bat?
Left-handed.
Oh, you did get it right.
Yeah.
Didn't seem very confident, though.
I already told you, I don't want to get in. I've gone to so many games in my life.
I know.
You love going, and that's
I don't love going.
Well, you go to Wolves games constantly. You love going down there.
For whatever reason, basketball game. I know basketball is a good sport to see.
Well, if you're courtside, yeah.
Well, media seat. I'm in the media seat 99% of the time.
Courtside.
Well, it's close, but that's where they put you. What am I supposed to do? Say no? Put me in the second deck?
No, but I'm just saying.
Sitting next to them.
If you're regular and you,
I understand that. I'm not suggesting that it's not
cramped
a great
seats,
place.
No leg room. You know better than anybody. Expensive concessions.
I sat in the second deck to watch.
No replay. Yeah, with that comedian guy. You were so bitter, I heard.
I wasn't bitter.
I heard that you were.
I really was not at all. I was more bitter because the thunderstorms knocked out the power for a while at the X. That was before they renamed it. I got to go. All
right, we'll see you tomorrow.
What is tomorrow? Wednesday? Yeah.
Wednesday. A legendary one will be in tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We'll take a quick break. One more segment to go. Common Man program on the Fan.
Hey, join me next Monday, October 20th at Willie's on the Water in Big Lake for Coors Light Hockey Night.
10 to be at Willie's on the Water.
Drop by starting at 6 p.m. to catch Minnesota take on New York. Enjoy ice-cold Coors Light and play trivia for your chance to win great prizes, including sweet tickets to a game in January. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
When you say sweet, you mean in a suite or they're sweet tickets?
S-U-I-T-E.
Okay. Which is sweet as well.
Yeah, sweet tickets.
Yeah, sweet. Well, that's sweet. That sounds like a heck of an event. I might want to show up and bring some friends. I got a text message from my old friend, Dr. Mike, who writes, I know everything that matters about the Boston bench coach. He will come cheap. That's criteria 1, 2, and 3 for Twins management. Criteria 4 is a familiar name so long as he fits criteria 1, 2, and 3. That's why it'll probably be Toby Gardenhire at $900,000 a year, which, right? He would be a familiar name, and he fits criteria 1, 2, and 3. He comes cheap. Oh, look at this. I didn't even see this until just now. Hold on. I got to find the right. I got so many mice in here. We need a mouse trap. Scotty from Potty, you're on the Fan. What do you know, my boy?
Dan the man, how you doing?
Hey, I got a daytime job, so things are all right. How about you?
Yeah, me too. How you feeling after that Sunday night loss? I know the Lions lost.
Well, it's they're beat up on defense, and Mahomes is so good. You saw it again. I know there were people that were wondering. Last year, they got to the big game, but, people are trying to kind of describe him as a game manager. Wasn't going long anymore. He was so good the other night, and Detroit just wasn't. So, it's a long season. It's just what the NFL wants. So it's like your club. They start out 4-0, then now they're 4-2. Buffalo gets beat last night. You just don't know what to expect anymore across the league. It's kind of fun that way, though. The league loves it. They want parity, and they've got it.
4-2, about to be 5-2. It's Minnesota week. Who's your starting QB? Is it Carson Wentz?
They don't know. Well, I think it's going to be Wentz. I don't think it's going to. The coach is being coy about it. The fans here in this town, if you gauge a radio talk show, they've already basically given up on the season. They think we're not going to the big game with Wentz, so we got to see what we have in McCarthy. They would rather just play McCarthy. Me, I kind of like the way Wentz looked last week, that last drive. And, you know how teams are, Scotty. Even if the fans are smarter than the team and knows they're not going to the big game or going to qualify for the playoffs at minimum, I don't think organizations think that way. And, with the way the coach has been talking about, well, we'll just see how it goes. I think they're probably going to start Wentz one more week, see how he plays. If he plays well, if they were able to upset the Eagles, and I think they stick with him. If he loses and doesn't play well, then I think they'll go to McCarthy.
I don't really know that feeling. Carson Wentz, does he still have those big boils on his neck?
I don't know. I didn't even know he had boils. I don't know enough about him. I know that he. I know that he played at North Dakota. He was playing really well in your Super Bowl season, and then all of a sudden he got hurt, and Nick Foles took him there.
And then what?
Wentz has never been the same since.
And guess what? Nick Foles is going to be in attendance there Sunday, and it'll be a bad idea to start Carson.
Yeah. All right, me boy. Thanks.
He's a little intimidated by Nick.
Yeah.
What's your prediction, Dan?
I think. I think Philadelphia will win by a field goal. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. You see, Scotty wanted to get.
He wanted to battle.
Yeah, he wanted to battle. Yeah. That's what he's one of those. He used to call here.
He wanted to roast.
Yeah, he wanted to go and start getting. He wanted me to start getting fired up and scream at him because he likes to be an agitator, and I'm just not interested. That's not the way we do radio here. It just doesn't interest me to have a back and forth. So that's why I even said I think Philadelphia by field goal.
Yeah.
Because that just caught him.
He doesn't know how to react to that.
No, he doesn't know how to react to that. And then, he thought I was going to start talking up Carson Wentz, and he's talking about, boils on Carson's. And what is he talking? He's one of those kind of fans, and it's just, but he calls in, so I gave him some.
He's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, but I mean, right. You're right. He's an Eagles fan. And so I gave him the time of day and let him call in. It tend to be, Rosen, I'm about to say something I never thought I'd say. Rosen brought up a good point, but it's not as though.
Was it his take?
Well, I think in this case, it probably was, but it's not a take that nobody else hasn't had. Like he said, well, if a guy hits 3 home runs in his first game, he's really not on pace to hit 900 some home runs. Because when I brought up the power play percentage by the Wild, but from what you've been able to gather in 3 games, I know it's a very small sample size, but is it because they're just shooting more, or are they approaching the power play different? I know that didn't Parisi and Suter bring in some guy a few years
Adam
ago?
Oates.
Yeah, wasn't that for power play?
Maybe Adam Oates was helping out with this current power play.
What do you think it is, or just it's too early to tell?
Well, I mean, the personnel is slightly different. I would say it's probably too early to tell. I do think Zibuiam, while he's had some flaws 5-on-5 thus far in 3 games, on the power play, I do think he's an upgrade over what they've had at the blue line. I think his skating ability, just being able to get the puck into the offensive zone to begin with, is going to be a plus, and he seems to move the puck a little bit quicker than guys we've had up there in the past. So I do think there's an upgrade there. The other guy that is different on that power play right now is Vladimir Tarasenko. I don't know if he's going to be there long term. I would assume once Matt Zuccarello returns, assuming everyone is still healthy at that point, which is a big assumption, that he would probably slot in there over Tarasenko. I think Tarasenko's just, he's not really making plays on the power play other than he does tend to make that cross-ice pass all the way over to the other side. I think it's just a combination of they do tend to have a little bit more of a shoot-first mentality. Zibuiam, I do think, is an upgrade. And Kaprizov and Boldy are just at another level right now. Will they be at 47% by the end of the year? I'm going to say no. But I do think there's reason to believe that this power play is not going to be, bottom 10 in the league. I mean, I just think Kaprizov and Boldy are so good. Eriksson Ek is great in his role. And Buium seems to be an upgrade on the blue line. So, yeah, I do think they're going to be, potentially a top 10 power play this year.
Yeah. Power play. How's their penalty kill?
But, you do have to understand in a 3-game stretch, there's a lot of variance there, right? One of the goals Boldy had, you could argue that was a week 1 on Kemper. It is a very, very small sample. The other part of this is, other teams are going to look at what you're doing. And I will say, I should add to what I've already said, and you asked me what they've done differently. They do seem to be moving around a lot more, right? Like they're playing a little more freer. A lot of times on power plays, you get 5 guys that are kind of stationary and play in their same spots. They do seem to be willing to have guys that are interchangeable. Like if Kaprizov's got it, he doesn't need to be standing in the same spot. He'll curl up towards Buyum, and then Buyum will replace Tarasenko, and they kind of get circular. They've also had some 5-on-3s, which helps with the percentage as well.
Time now for NFL Power Rankings. This is CBS Sports. It's the first one I stumbled across. Tennessee, I think, pardon me, losing my voice. Or maybe it's puberty. Yesterday, I made a bold and brash prediction on who would be the number one ranked team in the power rankings this week. You remember that discussion we had?
You said it was going to be Tampa Bay, right?
CBS Sports has Tampa Bay number one in their power rankings, best team in the National Football League. Who would have think they are at they climb
Tampa Bay.
They climb a couple of spots from number 3 to number 1. The Green Bay Packers at number 2. At 3-1-1. The Steelers at number 3. Aaron Rodgers. Who would have thunk that?
Yeah.
They are.
What if we have a Rodgers versus Green Bay big game?
How much fun would that be? Well, I don't know if I could handle it. I don't know if I could stomach it.
I'll tell you what, I know you're about to keep moving on through the power rankings. The Packers, to me, doesn't seem like a worthy number 2 pick in the power rankings. But I get it because a lot of the teams that you assumed were going to be good going into the season, right? Like, I know the Chiefs are starting to turn around, but they're 3-3. Baltimore is 1-5. Buffalo has looked extremely ordinary the last couple weeks. The Eagles have looked ordinary the last couple weeks. So all the teams that you went into the season with, even Detroit, right, that you thought were going to be the elite of the league, have dropped down. But I guess I don't feel like the Packers are like a strong number 2 in the power rankings compared to most seasons.
I would tend to agree, and it's not even my hatred of Green Bay. It's they looked really good in the opener. They handled Detroit. They neutered that offense. They played really well.
And they look good against Washington.
Then they look good against Washington. They look like you could make the argument they were as good as any team in football, maybe, through 2 weeks. Again, it's the overreaction we have every week. But then, was it the Browns lost?
They lost the Browns.
Just an ugly game. And then
they struggled. They tied Dallas.
They tied Dallas. And then they had a nice game this past week. Yeah, they beat the Bengals. But that's the Bengals. And Flacco almost pulled it out. They scored a tutty, went for 2, cut it to 8, and then, or cut it to 6. And then they had a chance to stop the Packers. But then, Jordan Love made a terrific throw, and that kept it going. They have the Colts at 4, and I would almost have them further up than 4.
You could argue they could be number 1.
Yeah, it's because I don't think I don't have their. I know they're 5-1, and I don't have all 5 games in front of me. But I
think it's probably their schedule has a lot to do with it. But still,
right. But they were beating.
They've been dominating.
Yeah, they've been dominating those teams. That's the beauty of it. The Lions have plummeted. They were number 1 last week. They're down to number 5 now. Followed by Broncos, Seahawks, Rams at 8, Pats at 9, Bills at 10. Chiefs have jumped to 11. They were sitting at 16 last week. Eagles dropped 10 spots, Tennessee.
Wow.
They're down to 12. Followed by the Chargers, Jaguars, 49ers. And the Vikings actually, with their win, they come up 1 spot, Tennessee. They are at number 16, and the Bears are right behind them at 17. Regarding the Vikings, it says they come off their bye with a big home game against a desperate Eagles team. It looks like J.J. McCarthy should be back under center for the Vikings this week. That's what they're saying. I don't know if they have inside information. Huh?
Does it say who wrote it?
I don't know.
Is this ESPN?
This is CBS.
Okay.
Is this Petey Prisco? Yeah, this is Pete Prisco.
I was wondering if it was ESPN because they will have like individual writers for each team write something. So if that was a Seifert note, I think that would have been big news.
Yeah, this is not an individual name. This is just Pete Prisco put it together. And, maybe Pete's just guessing.
Maybe he's plugged in.
Or maybe he's guessing. I mean, we talked about this. Look at how the Vikings started this. They started with J.J. McCarthy as their starting quarterback. No bones about it. They could have re-signed Sam Darnold. They did not want to. They could have. Somebody texted me that said, "Well, I think he said they offered Darnold or Danny Dimes a contract." Well, I don't know if they did, but my guess is the Colts offered a lot more. That's the problem. The Vikings were not interested in giving Danny Jones starters money. They weren't going to say, we believe in you, we're going to give you $100 million or even $50 million.
I'm guessing the Vikings were probably relatively competitive from an offer standpoint. I'm guessing Indy's was slightly more, but he got 1 year, $14 million because he's technically he was in a competition with Anthony Richardson. Right. But to your point, I think it was more. I'm sure Indy's offered slightly more, and you had a better chance of getting the job there.
Right, because they were sold on McCarthy, and then you had Aaron Rodgers. By all reports, he wanted to play in Minnesota. He wanted to play at least one more season. You want to play in a place where you have the best chance to win, and we all talked about how ready-made this club was. Rebuilding their interior of their offensive and defensive lines, a lot of good skill position players. You got B-Flow, and you got the quarterback whisperer. Why wouldn't you want to play here? And we didn't want to.
And his contract was cheap, too.
Yes. So if you started with McCarthy, logically you would say, well, as soon as he's ready to play again, he should be the quarterback. If that's what you really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just don't know if, the thing is Ted, you know what the NFL stands for? Not for long. And so just because that was your thoughts going into the season, 5 weeks in, you can change your mind after what you've seen from a player, where you see where your team is, where it's been. The NFC is wide open. There are so many people that are emailing us and saying, well, we're not going to the big game. Well, yeah, probably not. But, if think about it, if how many seasons do most teams realistically have a chance to go to the big game? 25 of them don't, or 20 of them don't. They still try to win football games and hope to get there. We've seen teams that really weren't expected to get to big games, surprise people and get there. So let's not pretend that it can't happen. But my point is yeah, if they started the season with McCarthy, if he's healthy enough, he should start this week. If they're going to stick to their guns.
On October 14th, there's probably one team in the NFC that's like, we're not going to the big game.
Right.
And, not that everyone else is convinced they are going to the big game, but they all, right? I mean, the New Orleans Saints at 1-5, I think they know with that roster, they're not going to the big game. But even like the Giants at 2-4, you're telling me their team and their fan base after, Jackson Dart has given them a little bit of a spark and they just beat the Eagles. Even they're going, hey, maybe we can make a run here.
Absolutely.
Right? And they're 2-4.
Absolutely. Almost every team thinks they still.
Cowboys are 2-3-1, and they're going, Dak Prescott's playing great. If we can get CeeDee Lamb back, George Pickens has looked great. Like, our offense is as good as anyone in the NFCs. If we can just shore up the defense a little bit, probably should have traded Micah Parsons.
Right. Vikings are getting all sorts of players back. Cashman this week.
Cash in, cash out.
Maybe
a couple of offensive linemen, too.
Is O'Neal going to play? We think he might, right?
It sounds like it's possible Donovan Jackson and Brian O'Neill can both be back. And I saw a story today that the offensive coordinator, off of Blake Brandell's performance last week, he's like, well, maybe this is just his position moving forward. That center might be his best position.
So there you go.
So our offensive line might be locked and loaded, ready for Philadelphia all of a sudden.
Aaron Jones will be back soon, right, or not?
I haven't heard much on him lately.
But our running back's been pretty good. I mean, why wouldn't we think that we're one game out of first place? There's a lot of fans out there that have just given up on this club already. I'm disappointed in those fans.
What I think it partly is? I think it's the psychology of, if the Vikings start Carson Wentz, the average fan goes, uh-oh, they're not high on J.J. McCarthy. We got to start this whole thing again. You know what I mean? It's the psychology of, whereas if he does start, maybe they do have some hope in him and they believe in him. Even if he doesn't do well, we still have long-term hope. They don't want that hope taken away.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Whereas I can still look at it logically and go, just because J.J. McCarthy doesn't start doesn't mean that they've given up on him. Can I give you a really bad analogy?
Yeah, we love bad analogies. That's all we do here.
My daughter, Ingrid, is 5.5 years old. She's trying to learn how to tie her shoes.
Okay.
Just because if we go home and try to tie her shoes today and she tries to do it, just because she doesn't do it doesn't mean I'm giving up on her never tying her shoes.
That's a great
again.
analogy, actually.
Right?
Do you think J.J. McCarthy can tie his shoes?
No, I'm going to have to help her in this moment tie her shoes. Yeah. But long term, I still think she's going to be able to tie her shoes.
I'm not afraid of the dark anymore, and I can tie my shoes, and I've been to the country, and I'm going to school. It's an old.
I don't know what that means.
It's just an old limerick from back in the day. Well, we'll see. I'm still think it's going to be Wentz, but the fans seem to at least, it's unscientific. But the fans that email me and text, they want to see McCarthy. And if the Vikings they started the season with McCarthy, they were hell bent that J.J. McCarthy was going to be their starting quarterback, and we think we can groom him into a top 5, top 10 type quarterback. Then they probably should start him this week. If he's healthy, play him. We'll see how it goes.
And I think what you mentioned earlier of could have had Rodgers, could have had Daniel Jones, could have had Sam Darnold.
Yep.
I think people don't want the season to be given up on. And I'm not saying you're giving up by going to Carson Wentz, but if you are going to Carson Wentz the rest of the year, now you are going, well, why didn't we get Aaron Rodgers?
Right, yeah.
Why didn't we bring Sam Darnold back?
Yes.
Why didn't we make a better offer to Daniel Jones?
Because remember, Wentz was, if it wouldn't have been, now maybe that would have changed here as the season has progressed. But to start the season, Wentz wasn't going to be on any team. He was not on a roster. He was sitting on his couch, and because Sam Howell, is that who it was?
Yeah.
Was so ineffective, I think the Vikings just, and you know what?
Howell's playing for Philadelphia this week. Maybe he'll come in at some point.
And you know what? I don't think Sam Howell let this organization down. I think the organization let Sam Howell down. That's what I think.
Organizations let quarterbacks down.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
More often, organizations let quarterbacks. That's from the quarterback whisperer himself. Has he let J.J. McCarthy down already? 1 good quarter out of 8? Maybe this organization has already failed for J.J. McCarthy. We'll find out. It's not this week. The best is
come Sunday, our opinions can completely pull a 180 and change.
When you're right, you're right. I've never been wrong. No, you've never been wrong. Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
Yeah, I thought so as well. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Brian Oak at 12:30 for a little rock talk and rock rank. I always love that. And then Mark Rosen at 2 o'clock, and then 10 to B will set sail with the 10 Fitzgerald Thursday and Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 12 noon, but stick around. Big Ticket, JG, they're next, right here on the Fan.
Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
Good night, folks, and good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Little puck talk.
Thank you.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.